All right. There's my modified notes for the second anniversary tournament for the opening round. You guys can pause it right there. So let me switch back over. So we're in the opening round now. We've made it to our qualifier. We got, I believe we got 40 people in my clan that have made the opener. So that is fantastic. So in my qualifying round, getting in, we had two of us at minus 14. Let's see if our opponent shot a pure or if they got an Albie. No, minus 14. So I think those minus 14 tiebreakers in the qualifying round are going to be real stout. But in this qualifier, it took a minus 12 just to get in. So you can tell weekend scores, you're looking at, I think minus 24 is, not going to get you very far. And there's going to be a ton of people at minus 26 getting the minus 13 on each side, looking at the minus 13 as being the optimal round. So, the group that's going to be at 26, it's all going to boil down to tiebreakers. So if you got anything better than a 26 and separating yourself from the herd, it's going to be real key. So just going through the holes one more time before I start playing I'll play one account today. I'll probably do one more round of practice, and then tomorrow I'll play my regular account. So just kind of some things that I've changed as my notes have evolved on these holes. We started off on this with a 3 power ball, and I have switched to a 4 power ball on it. And the reason there is SD Recorder app. I like this app for recording, and I'm not sure why this brush keeps disappearing here. It doesn't do it on my phone. Oh. So we're trying to get out into this area right here so that we can do the hook around to get over onto the green. And to make our lives a little bit easier in the weekend round, or in the opening and the weekend round, I'm going to use a 4 power ball on this. So we're going to, I was using a Titan, so that's a 3 power, 2 side spin, 2 wind. So we're going to stick with the 2 side spin and 2 wind. And we just need just a little bit more power on that. So I'm going to use a shell ball. So any ball the new ball that they have that's out for sale, 5th season ball, I think it's a 2 wind, 2 side spin, 4 power ball. Any of them will work. I just I don't need to add in any extra side spin on it. And we're doing max top spin, so I don't know that we can get all of the side spin that we couldn't use all of the 3 side spins. So if all you have is a 4 power 3 side spin ball, then that'll work. And I don't really want to change where we're ending up at here because it'll change our landing spot. So I'm going to stick with a 2 wind ball. So hole number 1, the only change we're really making here, and I'm still hitting over into this area, is that we're going to switch to a 4 power ball, and I'm going to do maximum top spin and however much right hand side spin I can get in. And then we're just going to put on a little more curl than we've been doing. I still think if you're playing hole number 1 and you're having any problems at all, that this is going to be one of those holes that most people are going to end up with birdies on. And there's going to be a group that's going to end up with a par. And there'll be a few more eagles than there are pars. But if you're having any difficulties on this hole, either shoot out here and play it safe, especially if you're in a lower bracket. Like if you're in one of the lower rookie, if you're playing in rookie and you are a rookie, this is a hole that's going to eat a lot of people's lunch. And if you shoot over here, get on the green with a long iron, make your birdie putt, you do have a shot at eagle with this. But the main thing is to make sure that you give yourself a shot at it, but it's a nice and easy birdie. I don't think this hole will hurt you too much. But if you got the guts to do it, this is the shot out here that'll get you on the green in 1 and give you the absolute best shot at eagle. Hole number 2. We are coming at it with our Katana and a Guardian. I haven't changed anything that I'm doing on this hole. I'm wedging my blue ring up on this rough and the fringe. So I want my blue ring to encompass everything inside of that. I have moved it out this direction about a half a ring. So it's the blue ring and then the clear ring. So you can put the clear ring on there. The problem is that the further out here you move, the rough out here curves. So as it's curving out in this area, the further out you take the ball that way, the more you put this rough into play. And I don't want to take a shot that's a guaranteed birdie and start getting it out here by this rough where I could end up messing myself up. It's key on this hole to make sure that you put on, for me, that I put on maximum backspin and however much side spin's left, and not try and balance them out. Because if you balance them out, you're going to end up going out here and it'll roll around and there's not really a shot at, I mean, it's an absolute guaranteed birdie, but there isn't really a shot at a hole-in-one. All right, hole number 3. We haven't really changed our game plan on this. We came in this, we just played this in one of the recent tournaments, the Christmas Links tournaments, and I'm not changing my MO. I'm using a rock. This is going to be a rock quarterback hole. We're coming out here with just a kingmaker, trying to lay up in the front. I'm using max left side spin, 1 backspin, laying my ball up, and then coming at it with a sniper. And you can easily get up there with a sniper if you're up here in the front. If you're having a hard time getting up there in the front and you find yourself ending up back here, you want to make sure and bring your big dog. This is a low percentage albatross shot. The main thing is to get on the green in 2, make your birdie, make your eagle putt, and get your eagle and go home. So if you take yourself out of the albatross shot by, having to use a big dog or using a club that doesn't have as good a ball guide, that's not really going to impact your game that much, because this is not a hole that a lot of people are going to get albatrosses on. Some people are. Some people are going to get pars. So if you can get an eagle easy, that's awesome. Hole number 4. So again, we're going for hole-in-one on this. I was landing over in this area. Now what I'm doing is I'm kind of putting the white ring is off from this rough just a little, and it's off from this rough just a little. I am literally starting off right in the middle, but I'm trying to put the center of my bullseye pretty much right where that shadow's at. I want to give myself awesome room on either side and go straight for the hole. This will take a ball we've adjusted our ball a few times on this, and I'm using a Katana because of the side spin and where it puts me in my power range with that ball. Because if you start off in the middle, you're going to need to apply a lot more side spin in order, because the ball's going to want to go in this direction. So you're going to have to put that side spin in order to cover this gap. Hole number 5. All right, this is going to be a hole that I think, when you look at the holes that are out here, this is going to be one of those par 5s that there's going to be a handful of people that get albatross. A bunch of people are going to get eagle, but this is going to be one of those holes that's going to ruin people's games. And so it's really important to, I think for most people, this is going to be a hole that you're going to want to, especially if you have underdeveloped clubs, play it safe. So when you bring your wood, I would bring a big dog and just think to yourself that you're going to bounce off of this fairway to get to the green. I'm bringing a sniper because I am expecting myself to get into this range up here, and I'm trying to land there. The last 2 times I was here, I kind of short shot it a little. I barely clipped this rough down here and short shot it and had to bounce my sniper off from here to get on. But I think for most people, if you really want to make sure that you can get from wherever you're at down here up to here, this is definitely big dog territory. If you can hit this shot consistent and get up here and you feel like you got that shot, then you bring your sniper, so that ideally you want to land on this side so you can really dial it in and go right at the hole. It's all about this first shot, and I'm not changing anything I'm doing on the first shot. We can't It's really the shot that we're taking here, where we're coming into this area right here. You know, we're trying to take advantage of the fact that this spot right here is closer to the tee box than where most people are hitting out in this area. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to cover this gap. So we're trying to move our ball out along this fringe area so that the wind will push us back into the fairway. We're not doing any overpower. We're letting the wind and the ball and the club and the features that are in those get the job done. But we are having to use something that's got lots of side spin and to help us out with our extra mile with the curl to get it back over into the fairway. I'm going to move down just a titch more so that, because we want to make sure that we put maximum topspin on it, and that means we're going to lose a little bit of side spin. So I'm going to cover that change by moving it over just a little bit more. I did that on the last video for this hole, and I thought I moved it enough, and I just barely clipped the rough when it came through out here. But this is all about the drive. If you nail the drive and end up out here where you want, whatever wood you brought is going to work. If you end up muffing this up, but you're still in the fairway down here short, you're going to need the biggest wood that you have. If you end up down here in the rough, you're pretty much done. So if you end up down here in the rough, you know, give yourself a shot. Lay it up here in the front, or lay it up here. Don't make it a risky shot. Lay it up so that your last shot, you still have some semblance of being able to go for that eagle. Hole number 6. Okay, so I still have a little bit of work to do, even though I've eagled this hole every time we've gotten to it in the qualifying rounds. I still have some work to do. So with my rock, I'm somewhere out in this area on Max Club, and I've actually been pulling it back a little bit because when I'm out here trying to get the ball to do this right here and come back down to the hole, I want to try and come at it over here as low as I can so that the ball is going more in this direction. So I've actually, even with my rock hits a little bit farther than my quarterback, I've been pulling it back just a little bit. I'm staying 2.5 rings off of that rough because this is downhill when you get into this area, so it tends to carry farther. So if you're right up against something, it's going to tend to carry and you're going to have issues. And we definitely don't want to do any overpower here. We want to have really good control of where the ball is going to end up. And with overpower, you lose a lot of that control. With my rock is beneficial because it has more curl. So I can get the ball to go in that direction more. But it doesn't have a lot of topspin. And if I put all the curl on there, I can barely get the topspin in. And what's been happening is we've been right out here in our maximum rapier range. I still think that there's a little bit more that we could pick up. The next time I play this, I'm not going to pull it back a little bit. I'm actually going to leave it at max club and see if I can get a little higher on this hill, because we've got quite a bit of room out here. And when it falls back down, if it'll fall a little bit closer, I would really, really love to be on this hole right in this area right here. And we're just back a little bit of that. So we're back here where we have to do a regular chip-in shot at max wedge. And I'd like to be more towards my mid-wedge, because if we're in this area right here, we can do the bump and run. But this is definitely a hole that we want to go into every single time thinking eagle, eagle, eagle. Because not a lot of people, this is not going to be a hole that everybody's going to get an eagle on. There's going to be, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the people that come to this hole are going to get eagles on it. And so if you can be one of those quarter, that's going to be huge. And I'm still slightly working on this hole. So I'm taking a sniper and a katana. We need that side spin in order to bring us towards the hole. And the katana puts us in our red line. We're more towards the half. We're pretty close to half. We're a little actually closer to minimum club, kind of in between mid club and minimum club. We're in that range when we're coming in here. This is a hole I'm still working on. Still trying to dial this hole in because I really think there's a great hole-in-one shot on this. This hole right here, I'm going to make one little change as we go into the weekend round. This is not an easy par 4. It's not a par 4 that a lot of people are going to get eagles on. And so if we can get out past those trees is the goal, and with a 3 power ball and a big topper, we're right on that. If we hit it on the inside, you actually have to hit it a little bit farther in order to clear those trees, whereas if you hit out here, you've got a better angle coming in for the tree shot. So you can see like where the farther you hit on the inside, the more you hit on the inside, the farther you have to make the ball go. And about 75% of the time, I'm perfectly clear of the trees. But that quarter of the time, where I've got to go around the trees, could really cause us a problem, because this is a hole, like I said, not a lot of people are going to get eagles on, but if we can try and perfect our shot so that we're getting the best eagle shot every time. So I think in the weekend round, or the opening and weekend round, I'm going to play a 4 power ball on this. And not so much because I want to get more distance out here. I think it will help us so that we always clear these trees. I think that will help us. But the reason I'm bringing a 4 power ball is that when we get down into this area, that 4 power ball is going to put me in my maximum short iron every time. Because with a 3 power ball, depending on where you're at, if you take the middle of the fairway here that's clear of the trees, if you're in the middle, you're probably in your long iron range, minimum long iron. If you're in between the middle and the rough up here, you're probably in your maximum short iron. If you're on this side, you're definitely in your long iron. But if you hit in the middle with a 4 power ball, you're going to be in your short iron range. So I would rather be in my short iron range on this hole. So to help me out, I'm going to bring a 4 power ball, not necessarily for the distance, but because of where it puts me with my short iron. It's going to make all those clubs a little longer, so we're going to make sure that we're in our short iron range. I have not had it happen yet. But there's some area out here, if you hit in that area, your transition between your 2 clubs is going to be right where you need this to land. So you're either going to have to bump and run your short iron, or you're going to have to come in with your long iron with some backspin. So the question there is, do you bring a backbone, which is a much more accurate long iron? So if you are in your long iron range, you can give yourself a very similar shot that you'd have with your short iron, or do you bring a long iron that's got lots of backspin, so that if you are on that transition, so it's the question of whether we bring a backspin long iron or an accurate long iron. I've been bringing the Saturn, but I'm going to try it with the backbone, because I think the 4 power ball is going to put me in my short iron range and I'm not going to have to worry about it. But this is a hole we're still trying to dial in. We're trying to increase our odds of getting an eagle on this hole, because this is a hole that a lot of people are not going to get eagle on, and it's a very, very tough hole. But if we can increase our odds so that every single time we've got the perfect shot to get in, the hope is that we can make that hopefully at least once, and hopefully on the weekend round. So on this hole, the only change I'm going to make is I'm using a big topper, and I'm going to use a Prestige ball. That's a 1 wind, 3 side spin, 4 power ball, and I don't really need the side spin. But I was looking on the charts, and there is no 1 wind, 2 side spin, 4 power ball. We've been using a Titan, so if we wanted to fill the gap with that Titan with something that would be very similar, there is no 2 side spin, 1 wind, 4 power ball. So I'm going to use a Prestige ball because I have some of those. So not only am I adding that 4th power, but I'm also dropping 1 wind from where I was before. So I should get out here just a little bit further. All right, hole number 9. I'm not really changing anything that I'm doing here. We're going out with an extra mile Titan, trying to land up in this area no more than 5 topspin maximum. That'll put us right about 400 yards, and that's where we want to be. And then we're doing the sniper rough bump off from right here. It's going to be 2 to 4 topspin, just depending on where you put it. And we are going to do a little bit of a wind adjustment down here, a 20% wind adjustment. So just kind of tightening our stuff up, making sure you're going into the opening round. It's really key for the tiebreakers that we shoot a good opening round, and we want to make that weekend round. So before you start playing it, go through your notes, tidy your notes up. I've got videos. I posted 3 qualifying rounds. I put them all in the same playlist, and on each one, if you're having difficulties on hole number 1, you're going to get 3 different looks at it. I'm trying to play consistent so that we can get, the whole goal is to try and get something that's repeatable. So it's not like, wow, I got a great shot, but that was lucky, and you can't achieve that every time. What we're trying to do is find something that every time you go to that hole, you do this thing, and then you're in the spot. So we had a -14. And then a pure practice round, and then another -14. So I got some pretty good videos up of playing these holes, and on some of them we have made little tweak adjustments, and those tweak adjustments have worked. So tighten your notes up, tighten up your belt, and hopefully you will have an awesome opening round. Goal here is to make the weekend round. That's where all the magic's going to happen, but the better tiebreakers you have, so the better you can do in the opening round, the better off you'll be in the long run. All right. Hopefully everybody has a great tournament, and I will post 2 opening rounds so we can get a little bit more. Some of these changes I've made, we can take a look at those to see how they worked out and try and tighten our game up, so when the weekend round comes, we have a game plan on every single hole. There's no fear. If you have a game plan and you go to the hole, I think a lot of times people go to hole and go, oh my gosh, and then they go in there and they're undecided, or they're unsure, or they're wigged out about the hole, and that's not going to help your performance. What helps your performance is when you go to the hole and you go, hey, this is no problem. On this hole, we're going to bring this right here, and if I put it out here at 400 yards, I got a rough bump here, and I'm on the hole. I'm giving myself an albatross shot. There's no fear. All right, I will talk to you guys on Thursday, or today. Later on tonight, I will shoot my first opening round, and then I'll try and get it posted tonight, and then I'll shoot another round on Friday. All right, thanks for watching.